Hey everyone, in this video, I want to talk about something cool we've been working on in in Cortex. But before we get to that, I want to remind you that every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, we have the Cortex Users Group where we show off a lot of cool stuff that we're working on in Cortex. Cool stuff that's coming in near releases, soon releases, stuff that's coming in further off releases. Um, and just talk about general Cherwell stuff, general Cortex stuff, stuff that we're doing. Help you install Cortex, run Cortex, answer questions that you have. And it's also an opportunity where you can talk to other people who are using Cortex or are thinking of using Cortex. It's really just time that we set aside to let you ask whatever questions you have. Um, and if you can't make it in person, or I guess virtually, right? It's a virtual meetup. We also have our Discord server. Links to both are down in the video description. So with that, let's talk about attachments. One of the questions that we get asked a lot is, can I get access to my attachments? And from a very early stage in Cortex's development, the answer was yes. The answer has basically always been yes. You can go to a BizOp form, you can see a dropdown including all of the attachments. But what if that's not enough? What if you actually want all of the attachments dumped to a file, dumped to a folder on your hard drive? Just dump all of the attachments in the system. Well, we decided to give it a try, and we actually have that now. So we're adding this little utilities method. Now, this is it's a little bit of a weird situation because it doesn't fall into Cherwell data. It doesn't really fall into structure where we're adding things like one steps and automation processes. And it looks like I have some really cutting edge alpha things showing up in my menu here as well. And it's certainly not administrative functionality, right? Like creating users and that sort of thing. It really does belong in its own category. So we've created this category called utilities, where we're going to put some stuff that it might be useful. It might not be useful, depending on your use case. Um, so in this case, we have the screen export all attachments. And it really is super simple. It is exporting all the attachments. Um, Now, basically, what it does is it writes out to, as it says there, it writes out to a directory called attachments slash the timestamp. And the timestamp is the date and time when the export was started. Basically, we use that naming format so that if you don't allow IIS to have write access to the files where Cortex is, which is good. IIS shouldn't have write access to Cortex. You can create that folder called attachments and allow IIS to have write access to that directory, and then it'll create a directory. And worst case, if something bombs, you can restart it and it'll create a new directory. It won't restart. It won't try to figure out where it left off and continue from there. It just starts the process over again. But let's just hit export. I don't even know what database I'm running on. I don't think there are very many attachments in here. And I think actually most of them are attached to either records that don't exist anymore or business objects that don't exist anymore because the demo databases don't actually really have any attachments. They do, but they're not connected properly. But as you can see, on 16 attachments, it was basically instantaneous. And if we go to that directory, let's see if I can pull that up here. Let's see if I can find it real quick. So that would be, apparently this directory is not alphabetized. Let me see if I can find it. Cortex, there we go. Let's drill in there and attachments. So switch over to a desktop here. All right. So you can see here's my attachments folder, and here's obviously this is the time when I'm recording this video. So let's drill in there. we can see here's a business object that apparently doesn't exist anymore. But then there's a change request, an incident, knowledge article underscore IT, and work item, all that have attachments. If we drill in there, we can see it looks like these records probably don't exist anymore. If the record exists, like in this case, it actually uses the public ID. So if you know that you're looking for the attachments for incident, in this case, 100,576, you can drill in here and you can get, oh, look, I have a Google logo as an attachment to that record, right? So you can see all of those. Some of the others, I don't think any of these other records actually exist anymore. So they all just show the rec ID. So basically, it will try as hard as it possibly can to find a helpful name for all the folders. And if it can't, so here's a good example where it found the business object name is incident, the BizOb ID, the public ID is something helpful, and here are all the attachments. But otherwise, it will just specify the rec ID, whatever it has, and maybe that is helpful. But at the very least, you know that you have everything, every attachment from the system dumped out into the file system. So we had fun with it. It was something quick that we could throw together that will be coming in a release soon, probably 2.1 when that gets released in a month or two. Yeah, a month or two. It's yeah, crazy. It's halfway through April. So at the end of May, early June is when 2.1 will come out, and that feature will be in it. Let us know if you have ideas for other little quick features like that we can add to Cortex. You can drop them in the comments below. You can send me an email, information down in the description below. Or we also have an idea site, which is also linked in the description below. You can post all sorts of fun ideas that you want to see in a future version of Cortex. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.